The Atlantic says President Donald Trump wanted generals like the funny mustache guy when he was in office, and they say he refused to pay for the funeral of a fallen soldier, although that soldier's sister says something different. Let's talk about it. How's everybody doing? My name is Anthony Brian Logan, and today we got to talk about the Atlantic releasing, I guess this is an October surprise on Trump just 2 weeks before the election. Now, they allege that he told people in his inner circle, staff or whatever, when he was in office, that he wants generals like the funny mustache guy. They also said that there was a fallen soldier whose funeral he promised to pay for when he visited the White House. And I'll go ahead and just put that particular video on the screen without playing the audio. They said that right here, he agreed to pay for the funeral, but then he wound up not doing it. Now, the sister says something different. And the sister, who was right here in the White House, disagrees with the Atlantic and says that Trump treated him with nothing but respect and everything was fine. There's not really a problem. So it looks like the Atlantic is just trying to attack Trump, just trying to gaslight you and manipulate you into voting against him or staying home. That's what it looks like to me. Now, before we get into what Kamala said, because she did comment on this, let's just go straight to the article. We're not going to read the entire thing. We're just going to take a gander at it. And of course, I will link to it in the box. This is on the Atlantic. It was published yesterday, which was Tuesday, October 22nd. Again, just 2 weeks, 14 days to the day before the general, they put this out. And they probably had it for years at this point. But anyway, it says, Trump, I need the kind of generals that you know who had, the funny mustache guy had, okay? The German guy that deleted himself at the end. And it says the Republican nominee's preoccupation with dictators and his disdain for the American military is deepening by Jeffrey Goldberg. All righty. So that's what they want to say. They want to put this little wing kind of thing behind them to make Trump be not Z. Okay. Not Z. That's what they want to make him be. And they're talking about Vanessa Guillen. So Vanessa Guillen, she was 20 years old and the Army private, was bludgeoned to death by a fellow soldier at Fort Hood in Texas. The person who did it, aided by his girlfriend, burned her body. Guillen's remains were discovered 2 months later, buried in a riverbank near the base after a massive search. Now, she's a daughter of Mexican immigrants, et cetera, et cetera. To get down to what the allegation is, he offers to pay for their funeral right there when they come to the White House. He makes the offer. But then he gets the bill and it's $60,000. He says, allegedly, according to what the Atlantic says, that it doesn't cost 60 grand to bury a effing Mexican. That's what they say. Did he say that? In my opinion, I don't think so. Maybe he thought that was too much to pay for a funeral, which it is. I know how much funerals cost. I've paid for one before, about $10,000. That's how much it costs. Okay, 10 bands, maybe a little bit more, 20 bands. 60 bands is a lot of money. The funeral did get paid for. In the Atlantic article, they said that the Army paid for some of it because she was offered to be buried at Arlington National Cemetery, and then the other part was paid by donations. Regardless of that, the sister has come out and said that it's fine. It's not really a thing. Let me just get straight to that right quick, because let's read this right here. Shortly after I emailed the author, speaking in first person, shortly after I emailed a series of questions to a Trump spokesperson, Alex Pfeiffer, I received an email from Kawam, who asked me to publish the statement from Myra Guillen, Vanessa's sister. And again, Vanessa Guillen is a soldier who was bludgeoned to death. Pfeiffer then emailed me the same statement. I am beyond grateful for all the support President Donald Trump showed our family during a trying time. The statement reads, I witnessed firsthand how President Trump honors our nation's hero service. We are grateful for everything he has done and continues to do to support our troops. Okay. So the sister is cool with it. The family has not come out and said anything about Trump. There's only negativity coming from the Atlantic because you have an October surprise to try and throw Americans off of the trail. That's all that it is. It's pretty simple what's going on. Now, I think Ms. Guillen is going to be a Trump supporter. I've read that, but I can't really confirm it that she's going to vote for Trump. And why not? Why wouldn't you? Now, I know Miss Kamala Harris, is not a Trump supporter. She wants to seize this moment to make Donald Trump be a bad guy, which was the whole intention. It was a reason for Kamala to go out there and give her pre-prepared statement to make Orange Man bad to affect the polls, because the mainstream media and the politicos work hand in hand. Okay, they're like peanut butter and jelly, ham and burger. All right, that's kind of what's going on. Tacos and enchiladas. But let's go ahead and get to this, and then I'll link to everything in the box, including the Atlantic article. But without further ado, let's go ahead and roll it.
So yesterday we learned that Donald Trump's former chief of staff, John Kelly, a retired four-star general, confirmed that while Donald Trump was president, he said he wanted generals like Adolf Hitler had. Donald Trump said that because he does not want a military that is loyal to the United States Constitution. He wants a military that is loyal to him.
Okay, let's just try to get through it. Again, I'll link to it in the box.
He wants a military who will be loyal to him personally. One that will obey his orders even when he tells them to break the law or abandon their oath to the Constitution of the United States.
Let's pause for a second. Now, when Obama was ordering the drone strike of civilians, didn't he strike an American with a drone? I'm not really sure about the American part, but he did drone strike civilians. So was that cool? Is that not breaking any kind of law? I think we got Geneva Convention is entering the chat. I mean, there's a lot of things that happened under previous presidents that actually happened, and Trump didn't do those things. Trump is a guy who is the least likely person to do those things because his whole situation was about peace and being able to negotiate deals and things of this nature. Other presidents, your neocons, they're ready to go ahead and delete you ASAP. That's what they do, unlike Trump.
In just the past week, Donald Trump has repeatedly called his fellow Americans the enemy from within.
I mean, who's talking about? Talking about some of these criminals, people that want to just create problems in society. It's not just fellow Americans. Who are we talking about exactly? I don't think you think, Kamala, that all people in this country are good people, because they're not. The majority of us are good people, but some aren't.
And even said that he would use the United States military to go after American citizens. And let's be clear about who he considers to be the enemy from within. Okay. Let's get down to that. Who is the enemy from within? Anyone who refuses to bend a knee or dares to criticize him would qualify, in his mind, as the enemy within.
If that's the case, and I'm sorry for pausing so much, please forgive me, but if that's the case, then why was there no action taken against these people when he was president the first time for the first 4 years? I don't understand. So now all of a sudden he's going to be a whole different person and start to do these things that he didn't do when he was president for 4 years. Make it make sense. If anything, he's the one that has been retaliated against because people don't want him in office. This right here is called projection. The things that you do, the things that happens on your side, you're saying that we do.
Like judges, like journalists, like nonpartisan election officials. It is deeply troubling and incredibly dangerous that Donald Trump would invoke Adolf Hitler, the man who is responsible for the deaths of 6 million Jews and hundreds of thousands of Americans. All of this is further evidence for the American people of who Donald Trump really is. This is a window into who Donald Trump really is.
You're getting very desperate, very, very desperate to do stuff like this. This is no more than a campaign ad. That's all. And it's aided by the Atlantic and whoever the people were that were around Trump that made up that story to tell them right now.
From the people who know him best, from the people who worked with him side by side in the Oval Office and in the Situation Room. And it is clear from John Kelly's words that Donald Trump is someone who, I quote, certainly falls into the general definition of fascist, who in fact vowed to be a dictator on day one and vowed to use the military as his personal militia to carry out his personal and political vendettas. Donald Trump is increasingly unhinged and unstable. And in a second term, people like John Kelly would not be there to be the guardrails against his propensities and his actions. Those who once tried to stop him from pursuing his worst impulses would no longer be there, and no longer be there to rein him in. So the bottom line is this. We know what Donald Trump wants. He wants unchecked power. The question in 13 days will be, what do the American people want? Thank you.
And there we go, just walking away. Same thing that Biden does, right? Okay, I'm gonna give my little 3-minute speech and then just go back inside. I'm gonna go back in the house. I can't come outside and play with y'all. I gotta go back in the house. Mama say dinner's ready. This is pathetic, man. This is gonna be your leader. Come on, man. October surprise, old stories. Look, as I close, I want to say this. If this story was so important, if this story needed to get out there to inform the American people about a threat to democracy, why did they hold it for this many years? Because let's be clear, this allegation goes back to when he was the president. So at least 2020, at least 4 years ago, maybe even 6 years ago, it could have been 2018, but we're just now hearing about it. It must not be that important. We're hearing about it right now because they want to discourage people who have not voted yet from voting. That's all that it is. Nothing more, nothing less. And really, it's a weak attempt. It's weak. I mean, I already didn't voted. I've already cast my vote. I've already done early voting. So it's too late now. Ain't no takebacks. And even if I could take it back, I wouldn't. And I think I'll leave that right there for now. And what say you? What's your thoughts about this whole situation? The two things, the whole funny mustache guy comment and also Miss Guillen. The funeral, the family, the Mexican part, whatever your thoughts are, let me know in the comments below. You guys know where I'm at. I'm at the point now where I don't believe anything that the media says at all. I have to go do my research and figure it out. And if I can't research it, like in this case, I just take it with a grain of salt. I really do, because they have lied over and over and over and over and over and over again. And they lie every day. They put out things in a certain way to make it appear to be a thing that it's not. They always do this. So at a certain point, you keep crying wolf and the wolf don't come. I'm not going to come rescue you because I know the wolf ain't going to be there. And if the wolf does arrive and eat your hind parts clean from the front to the back, it is what it is. Not my fault. It's your fault for continuing to lie and making me believe you're going to lie again. But whatever your thoughts are, please let me know in the comments below. And that's all I got to say for this video. If you like what you heard, please comment, rate, share, and subscribe. Peace.